I take my Disney World packing list very seriously, but at the end of the day, looking over the items I typically bring to Disney World, there's a lot of overlap in instances where I may be overpacking, but after whittling down the list, there are key items that I would not travel to the parks without and are absolutely a necessity for me to get through a Disney World vacation. So I wanted to challenge myself and share with you 10 items that I will not go to Disney World without and what I'll be leaving behind instead. And I'm gonna leave the weirdest one for last because it's a key thing that's gonna help me sleep at night. So let's go ahead and get on into it. First things first, I need a good Disney park bag when I am going to the Disney parks. And usually I bring a backpack like a Loungefly or a Vera Bradley bag. But since I have limited space this trip, that's why we are doing this challenge. I had to really pare down on what I'll be packing. I'm choosing to bring a fanny pack or a belt bag style bag. This is a beige fanny pack that I'm very eager to test out for the parks. And there's a couple of key features why I like this one. I think it's going to stand up to the test of being a good Disney park bag, but also still hold the key items that I am talking about. And I am not the person that goes to the parks with nothing. I love bringing a park bag and essentials to keep me comfortable and save money during the day. But this is the bag I'll be using for this upcoming trip. I love it because it's a canvas material that's perfect, like a little bit water resistant, it feels like, but also won't be a material that is going to get dirty easily. These were patches that were added onto, so they did not come with the bag, but it does have a larger inside body, so I can put a lot of items on the inside. The biggest thing that I want to consider is a water bottle, so I can fit the water bottle on the inside. It also has a zippered pouch on the inside here and a zippered pouch that is more secure on the back side. But the thing that I think is very interesting about this bag and is different compared to other fanny pack or belt bag style bags that I've used in the past is it actually comes with two straps. And the unique thing is this one is a rope style strap that does come off, it is removable, but also the main strap is also removable, but it's adjustable on both sides. So this side you can adjust and also this side, and it's not a clasp or like a buckle release, it's more of this little slip feature that slips on and off, so you can take it off this side and the other side to just use the rope style strap, which I think would be cute to have as kind of a 2-in-1 bag to use as a park bag, but then also maybe a little bit more of a dressed up purse style bag to use if you're going out to a Disney dinner or to Disney Springs. But this is the Disney park bag I'm going to be using. I had to pare down on the size, and at the end of the day I want something that is comfortable, has a thicker strap so it doesn't dig into my shoulder, but is still going to hold the key essentials that I need during the day. If you've ever tried Béis products, I know people really like this brand. Let me know what you think of it and if you like their luggage. I have not purchased a suitcase from them, but I see a lot of people do like their brand. The second item, I always think I'm going to get lucky, but I will not be messing around with this anymore, and that's forgetting an umbrella. But this one is not your typical umbrella. This is a solar umbrella. So the unique thing about it not only blocks from the rain, but it's different because it has this black reflective material underneath that helps to block the sun. The reason I like bringing this is because I am over the days where I think I'm going to get lucky and it says that it's going to rain in the forecast, and I try to think that it is not going to rain. I love having an umbrella on hand because there have been too many times that I've been stuck in a gift shop or the end of a ride and not wanted to go outside to get wet. So to help you keep continuing on your Disney park days, having an umbrella is helpful, but the solar umbrella has been very useful for instances that I am waiting in a line that doesn't have a covered queue, or if it is a parade that is outdoors and I'm waiting for a spot to be able to watch it. This is so nice to cover my head, block the sun, and not get too much heat exhaustion and exposure during the day. But I'm also happy because it is a smaller size travel umbrella that fits in a Disney park bag, and it also fits nicely inside of the Béis bag where it's a little bit big, but it still leaves other room for other essentials that I want to bring during the day. Those Florida storms are not something you want to mess around with, and it is a lot more expensive to purchase a rain poncho or an umbrella inside of the Disney park, so that's why I always just bring it instead. It is a pain sometimes to carry around, but whenever a shower does pop up, you'll be so happy to have it. Speaking of which, the third thing I do not mess around with is not wearing sunscreen. I will always bring sunscreen during my visit because it's way more expensive in the parks or at the resorts, but I also burn very easily, and there've been one too many times that I have had my shoulders burnt or parts of my face burnt that it hurts for the rest of my Disney vacation, and that's the last thing you want. So I always bring a sunscreen that's going to last me for the day, or I like bringing a travel size that I can put in my park bag and reapply. This is the brand that I usually go with. It is a thicker sunscreen and it does leave more of like a white cast, but I do like it because it seems to last on my skin for the entire day and does help prevent burns. If I can do a little honorable mention in terms of sunscreen and sun protection, I do love having an SPF lip balm. This has been a game changer. Not only having a lip balm in the parks, as you know, I like finding ways to have 2-in-1 essentials, and having one that has SPF in it is really good for your lips to not only protect your face and your skin whenever you're in the parks, but also be able to have a way to protect your lips. This is just a little SPF lip balm that I've been using from Supergoop. It's very lightweight. It's not goopy or sticky at all, but it feels like a regular lip balm, but also has, I think it's a 30 SPF in it. So this is a little thing that I'll usually just add to my Disney park bag to have during the day, and then I usually apply my sunscreen in the morning to have for the rest of the day. No matter the time of year, the sun is no joke, and I have gone too many times where I have forgotten sunglasses, so that's another thing that is on my packing list all the time. I love having sunglasses to wear in the parks. There's a couple of different brands that I use, but no matter what, I usually bring at least one pair. This is a pair that I did get inside of the Disney parks, and I think you can get on Disney Store or on Amazon, but I like wearing these because they give me a little bit of Disney style in case I don't want to wear Minnie Mouse ears. They still have a little touch of Disney to them, but they also are perfect to block from the Florida sun. Then another brand that I've been using a lot of that is perfect for a more active day at the Disney parks is a brand called Gooder. These are more athletic style glasses because they have these grip features on the nose and on the backside of your ears. I think these are more for like running and athletic wear, but I really like them because they come in a lot of different colors and styles. This one I think is called the Glam G, and it is a Bridgerton inspired pattern, but I will not go without sunglasses. That's one thing that I always regret, is getting onto the bus and realizing that I forgot a key essential for my Disney park day. So I usually like to pack my Disney park bag the night before to make sure that I have everything that I need for the next day. And one day I completely forgot my sunglasses, and it was so sunny, and I remember watching the parade being very upset. So I always will bring a pair of sunglasses to have in the parks. They are usually something that I'm wearing in the parks, but of course, since this is the park bag that I'm going to be using, I just wanted to show how full it'll get. I'll probably just put my sunglasses inside here, but usually wear them either on my head or just wear them as sunglasses to not have in my bag. But what are your non-negotiable Disney essentials? What do you absolutely have to have on your packing list? I love hearing what you have to say. Please let me know in the comment section below, because I do take your comments into consideration of future things I should be packing for the parks. I do have to charge a lot of things during my Disney World visits, so I always have a portable charger on hand with me. This is an absolute non-negotiable, not only because I go as a content creator trying to update from my trips, but also because I am on my phone a lot using the My Disney Experience app that does do a lot of draining on your phone battery, but I also like to take photos and videos to get memories by. So I'll usually bring a portable charger with me to charge my video camera, but also my phone. This is one that I've gotten that actually just magnets on back to your phone, and it's MagSafe and it will charge automatically. Of course, now for the video, the portable charger is dead. So that's another reminder whenever you are going on your visits, making sure that you are recharging your tech. Usually I'll do this the night before to make sure that it's charged for the next day, but I do like it because it is MagSafe, and then I'll usually bring the extra cords to plug into here that I can plug into my video camera or anything else that I need to charge for my visit. In the past, I have used ones that actually have the cords built in, and I would recommend those more. Unfortunately, that is one of the only things that I've ever lost during a Disney World vacation, is the white portable charger that had the cords built into it. If you can get one like that, I would highly recommend it. But if you are someone that usually only uses a phone inside of the parks and doesn't necessarily have an external camera, highly recommend one that just magnets onto the back. So that way it is a lot easier and you can continue to use your phone while it charges. This is something that I will either put on the back side in the zipper here or just in the main portion of the bag, so that way I know where to reach for it during my park visit. This is an essential I get a lot of questions about on if it's really useful or not. For me, I will not go to Disney World without a MagicBand. I love using the MagicBand because I do visit frequently to Disney World. So I think if you're someone that is going to go often, or if you have a longer Disney visit, I would recommend bringing a MagicBand with you. I love having this just on my wrist as an easy way to scan into the parks, scan into the lightning lanes if we do have the lightning lane multipass, and it's also very easy to scan into your Disney World resort room if you are staying on property. Now, if you aren't staying on property or this will be your only visit in a while, maybe a MagicBand isn't right for you, but I love using it because it's just an easy accessory to have onto your wrist, be able to scan in and out of things, and it's a lot more user-friendly rather than having a separate key card and having to rummage through your park bag and find something to get access into your room or into the parks. That's all personal preference, but I love having a MagicBand. It is one of my favorite accessories Disney-wise to go into the parks. And last visit, whenever we went with my sisters and they were getting MagicBands inside of the parks, I kind of realized that it is maybe a little bit more efficient to go ahead and buy them off of Disney Store, have them shipped to your house, so that way you can get them paired, charged, and ready for your visit. I will leave a link in the description so you can see where you can buy MagicBands. You can of course get them into the parks, but after searching all 4 of the Disney World parks and Disney Springs to see all of the selections of MagicBands, I noticed on Disney Store they have a lot of the selections that you can find actually in the parks. So rather than doing the running around and finding the one that you want, look on Disney Store, see if they have that one, or you can just browse the selection to know which one you want to get when you are at the parks. This is more of a unique option, but I have started using this for the past couple of Disney trips and will not go without it now, and it is some type of immune support powder, or in this case an emergency. Usually I go with the raspberry flavor, but the orange one is just fine, and this is a nice way to just boost my immune system since I'm going to be traveling and exposed to a lot more than usual here at home. So whether I'm traveling or just getting on and off rides, really touching a lot more things, I like packing at least one of these per day, and I'll usually just put it in my travel backpack or my luggage whenever I am going to travel down to Disney World. And then a viewer did let me know that I was before drinking these right before bed, and you shouldn't necessarily do that. So I do usually take these to the parks now, and I'll just leave them in my park bag and usually drink them early afternoon to help with my immune support, but also a nice little hydration boost. Piggybacking off of that, another thing that I would take rather than taking snacks, or would so much rather have this than having a snack in my park bag, are liquid IVs. It is so hot and humid inside of the parks usually whenever we're visiting, and I love keeping up on my hydration by bringing a water bottle that I can refill during my day. But a non-negotiable is having a liquid IV. I usually bring one of these in my Disney park bags during my visit as well, and they have so many different flavors and options. This is a great thing that's going to help with the Florida water taste if you do not like it whenever you're going to Disney World, or if you're someone that does not like to drink water. A lot of times I get comments about people that like just drinking soda, or they don't like the taste of water or drinking water in general. This is a nice flavor boost and kind of a little incentive to get you to drink more water and also boost your hydration during a visit. My favorite flavor recently has been this watermelon flavor. I have really liked how sweet it is, and it's perfect for the summer coming up, but they have regular lemon lime, and then they've also recently come out with a lot of sugar-free versions if that's something that would be more helpful instead. But like I said, I usually bring one of each. I'll put it in my park bag, and I usually have a water bottle that I can refill and have as a little thing to drink during the day. I do plan out my Disney park outfits for a visit, but I typically go with a more standard hairstyle in terms of just doing a ponytail or like a half up, half down look. One thing that I always go with is some type of hair tie or claw clip. I wanted to just give a little honorable mention to this. We did get a PR box from a brand called Teleties that did a collab with Disney, and I wanted to show you a couple of things that they sent, but what I'm going to be bringing on my most recent visit. They have so many different cute Disney hair ties and claw clip options. I absolutely love this one mini bow, and then they also have one that has all of Mickey and Minnie on it. But for this trip, and a non-negotiable for me, is having some type of hair tie that I can have my hair pulled back and off my neck, not only as a cooling feature, but also if you're going on a roller coaster or a wild ride, it can get your hair all messed up, and I like having my hair pulled back and uniform so that way it doesn't get tangled or knotty. I used to just bring plain hair ties to wear on my wrist, but these ones are so much cuter because they actually have little Disney characters attached to them that would be cute to add to your hair. But I also like the material of the hair ties. They're a lot more durable and more flexible, but I also like them in my hair because whenever I take them out, they don't tangle as much as other hair ties. But look at little Goofy and Daisy. We've got Mickey. There are so many characters in different hair tie selections that they have in this collection. And another thing they sent were little mini hair ties. Like I mentioned before, I like doing the half up, half down look to still have a little bit of hair down, but have the top layer pulled up. Usually I'll use those little rubber bands, but those get caught and they end up breaking during my visit. But these are so small and tiny that I could use those for that kind of hairstyle. And they also have little polka dots in different pink ones, and I love the color pink, so these are perfect. If you are wanting a more down hairstyle for the day, but whenever you're on rides be able to pull your hair up easily, you could get a claw clip to use. This is one they have from their Disney collection, and it has Mickey Mouse on it. The only thing I would not recommend in terms of wearing a claw clip is on roller coasters, because the one time I was wearing a claw clip on Space Mountain and my head went back and actually broke the claw clip. This one feels a lot more durable than the one that I was wearing, but just to be better safe than sorry, that's when I would recommend wearing a hair tie. And this is a more standard style claw clip, but they do have these ones that are flatter that have these spikes on the back and also characters on the front that are more unique that you could have as a neat accessory in your hair for your Disney park day. Very appreciative to Teleties for sending this over, and I cannot wait to use these inside of the parks. Last but absolutely not least is a weird thing that I use in the Disney hotels to help me sleep at night, and that is earplugs, because too many times you do not know who your Disney neighbors are going to be whenever you are going on vacation, or if you're just not used to your surrounding and staying in a hotel. It is nice having earplugs to sleep with, and I love having these little ones that are cushiony and they fit nicely in your ear. They don't feel as unnatural to sleep with since they do form to your ear. Another thing that I saw people like to bring are the noise machines or some sound machine to kind of drown out other noises that might be happening around you. But this is just a really nice little thing that I can bring in my travel backpack that doesn't take up a lot of space and I know I can have during my visit. Usually I'll bring 1 to 2 packs in case I do lose one, but one weird thing that I end up doing, I usually put these in just to be able to fall asleep, but a weird thing that I end up doing is taking them out at night. I have no idea that I do it, and I end up nicely setting them beside me on my nightstand or by the alarm clock, and I end up waking up and they are right there waiting for me. So that's a weird thing that I do, but they may get lost in the bed after sleeping, so you may end up wanting to take more than 1 pack just to be better safe than sorry. So those are things that I absolutely will not be going to Disney World without, but if you're interested in other packing items that are useful for a visit that you may want to consider adding to your Disney World packing list if you have more space, I want to direct you to this video right here, so that way you can pack fully, save money, and not end up going down to Disney with regret, figuring out you forgot some key items. Please let me know what your packing list non-negotiables are in the comment section below. Enjoy your trip to Disney World, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.